Hi, I'm going to kind of give a quick walkthrough of the course. So I'm going to just share my screen if I can do that here. So if we come in here to the course, and it's right here, this is what you see when you come into the course, and all of you should have seen that. If you look along here, one of the first things you'll see is announcements. Let me click here for student view. You won't see all these. You'll see, well, the announcements will be sent to your email. And they'll also be in here as well. They'll be the second one down, but since I haven't seen the announcements yet, they're not on there. And then the next thing is the syllabus, just kind of a little overview of what the course is. You have the syllabus here. If you notice, you have the syllabus. I would recommend you print this. This is kind of your guide to the whole semester. I would highly encourage you to print it. Just keep a copy, and then you keep track of your grades here. Make sure all that adds up and makes sense to you. You also down below here have list of dates when things are due, but they're also in the syllabus, and occasionally a deadline might be slightly different in the sense that, like, for example, like discussion boards, with the discussion boards, you have a deadline of Mondays at 11:59 p.m. All the deadlines are Monday at 11:59 p.m. with the exception of the final exam, which has a Wednesday deadline during finals week. But everything else has a deadline of Monday at 11:59 p.m. But if you wait to do your discussion board, your first post, you won't really, I don't give full credit unless you do the post a couple days early. That way you have time to kind of respond and interact with other people. So that's the only exception to what's on this calendar. If you click modules, you all should have done that already because you're here at the course intro video, which is missing right now because I have not added it, but it will be right here and you're watching it right here. So we assume you did that, but I would recommend that when you come in here, you review, you go to the course overview, you go to the course introduction, and you kind of work your way through all of these lessons. And then when you get done with this module, if you want to make it so it doesn't take up all this space, you have to scroll way down to get to your next module. Just click that, it'll minimize it. Next time you come there, it will be minimized until you unminimize it. So this has all the information, has my contact information, has a little bit of detail about me, etc. in there. And then the next one is purely about the summary paper. This I have up here at the top because it's something you'll go to 4 times during the semester. In this, I'll give a little video about how to do it. I have, like, in here just sort of why we do it. Then I have the detailed instructions on how to do it. And then after that, we have the different papers. We have the drop or where you would turn in the paper and links. And I will change the rubric a little bit each time for the summary papers. Kind of as we move along, I might change those just a little bit. So review the rubric as we go along. But then you have, if you click these, you'll get, for example, the article. You get to choose one of these 3 articles. I'm going to give a video that gives you a little more detail about this, and you provide a summary. A few of these have links. So that's going to be, I want you to at least read through this summary information before you take the first quiz. And then when you get to this, you'll have basically a list of what you need to do, checklist, and you have kind of what this module is about, details about it. If you click down here, you'll open up a list of all the outcomes and checklists for the whole semester. I would also encourage you to print that out because that's something that you can just quickly refer back to know what you're going to do each module. That checklist in this case, because this is the first time I'm teaching ethics with a new textbook, might change a little bit. Some of them will say readings to be announced. Please be aware of that and plan accordingly. In other matters, after you do that, in each module, you'll find a video where I introduce the module. I don't have a video in there, but there'll be a little video, and it'll be just a few minutes where I give a couple pointers on what's going on. And then usually what you'll have is you'll have a lesson and you'll have a reading. Lesson will usually be something that goes through this program called Soft Chalk that allows you kind of to read what I wrote, and then there's videos embedded and you can watch those videos as part of this process. And I have various ones. These videos, and some of these need updated quite a bit, but that is in there. As a note, I will probably say something else, but if you find errors in writing and maybe I say a date or something wrong about the course in a video or in the text, email me and I will make note of that and I'll try to fix it. And until I fix it, I'll give you an extra credit point. So if you see it and then you email me at the end of the semester and I've already fixed it, I'm not going to give you credit for something I fixed. But if you see errors, please do email me. And then after that lesson, there's what is ethics, and that is a reading. And this is, I might narrow this down a little bit, but this is just kind of a reading over that, over the topic. So you have the lesson, which is mine, which has some videos, and then you have the reading, which is from an online textbook or a reading from a philosopher, and that would be in there. And each of those will be within each of the modules. So in this one, it'll actually link you out in module 2, and the lesson will be in the Soft Chalk. You have an intro video, a summary, and then you'll notice, like in the first module, you have an extra credit introduction where you just say, hey, my name is Tim, and I have 3 kids, a wife, I've been teaching, I give you a little introduction right up. That's there, and then you kind of say hi to a couple of people. It's always nice to kind of read and learn about everybody else in the class, and I usually like reading them, and I'll write you in my grading comments, I'll say something, I'll try to comment on it, if I something about your video or not your video, your write-up. So look for that there. And then after that, you have these discussions like stealing a house, and this is where there might be a video and it has questions, and you are to write up a 300-word response. In the past, I just had these due every 2 weeks, and this semester I decided, just for consistency, I'm just going to put them in with the module. So whenever a module ends, these videos will be there, these discussions will be. So if a module is 1 week, there's a discussion. If a module is 3 weeks, there's one discussion. And so they're not necessarily every 2 weeks, but they are part of every module. So every module has usually a video introduction, a lesson, and then at least one, sometimes 2 or 3 readings that you have to do. And especially the longer ones will have more readings, or maybe more than one lesson in some cases. And then you will have an exam, which you won't see, you didn't see those on here yet because I haven't put those in yet, but you'll find there is an exam, and you'll also find, which will be down at the bottom, and there's a discussion board. On a final note about the discussion boards, the discussions are all due at 11:59 p.m. If you do your first discussion board post, you probably want to do it a couple days early. That way you have time to reply to other people. You're required to reply to at least 2 people with some sort of substantial reply, more than just 10 or 20 words. It has to be 75 words. Points out a problem, discusses the issue. That'll be part of these discussion boards. And the first post is about, you have to put at least 300 words, and that you should put the number of words, count up the words, or run it through word processing where it'll give you a word count and say how many words it is. As far as it goes, the discussion, you then do at least 2 replies. Now, if you do the first and you do a good job, and you do 2 replies and you do a good job, I still will argue that that is probably average work and probably C level work. And so I would give you a C on that. I really, in order to get an A, I would expect you to probably respond 3 or 4 times to people who replied to you, people who did it with substantial, not just thanks, I appreciate your comments, or I like what you said, or I agree with you. It has to be something a little bit more substantial. And so if you do that, I would expect you to probably reply to at least 4, and I would expect you to have done maybe your first post at least a day or two before you do all the others. I don't want you coming down and sitting down just doing a marathon session where you do a bunch of stuff in like 45 minutes. So those are kind of the things I look for when I'm grading that. And if you do it all in one day, people sometimes will go, why did I keep getting C's? Because you keep doing the minimum. The minimum is average, and average is a C level work. That's what a C means. All right. So those are all in there. You have the exams, you have the discussions, and the exams will say on them how much time you have to complete them and how many questions there are. Once you start it, it starts. You can't stop it and stop the clock. The clock starts. Most of the exams will give you 30 minutes to an hour to answer it. You're allowed to look back at your notes or look back through things, but because of the short time span, you probably won't have a whole lot of time to look back. As always, I encourage you, if you have questions or any concerns, that you reach out and ask me. That's the only way I know you're having problems or struggling. We're not meeting in the classroom. And so you should reach out to me if you have questions. Oh, before I go, if you ever just want to find all the discussions, they will be in here. You only see the ones that are here so far because I haven't, done that. But if I leave student view, you'll see that all the discussions are there for the whole semester. And grades, this will bring up my grade book, but if you come in there, it'll give your specific grades on your specific tasks. So if we come back here and I click student view and I hit grades, then you'll see the grades you got on different things in here. And I think I need to update the point totals on those. I forgot about that. And that goes in there. And that's basically the whole way the course works. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And if you need anything, please reach out. All right, I will let you go. Take care. Bye.